Hey there friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and this is my first layout using the 2019 January kits. And I'm going to start this layout with a cut file, and this is one of the freebie exclusive subscriber cut files that should be up on the website any day now. And I'm going to do some fussy cutting. I went through all the Project Life cards and picked out all the ones that had flowers on them. And so my thought was that I was going to fussy cut a lot of these flowers out and just sort of layer them on the flower clusters on the sides of this heart and just kind of have a little bouquet of colorful flowers. And I love to fussy cut things, and the Project Life cards are always good for doing things like this because they always have really cute images, and you can always use them as layers. If you don't do Project Life or pocket scrapbooking like me, I like to use these on my pages. So this is kind of the start of my idea. I'm going to use some color photos. If you notice that some of the little flowers are royal blue, and I've had these photos of my daughter, I think these are from 2013, so she was just a little short chunky thing then, and she's got on this royal blue outfit, and I thought it would be really cute to use those photos because there are spots of royal blue going on in several of the elements in the kits. So I used white cardstock to cut the heart on, and I'm just going to kind of build my color from there. Now over on the right there are two bigger flowers, and what I decided to do was to, instead of backing the cut file like I do quite frequently, I thought I would create the same shape like I was going to back it, but put it on top of the cut file and add adhesive under it and kind of raise it up to make it look dimensional. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about here in a minute, but all I did was pick a few pattern papers from the main kit and the paper kit and trace the shape and then cut it out. And then I'm going to erase all of the pencil lines around there, and I'm going to raise it up, and so it's going to sit on top of the cut file instead of being stuck behind it, and it's going to create some really fun dimension, and I like the way it looks. I think I kind of want to try this again on a different cut file. So now I've got all that side done, and I'm going to come back in with those little fussy cut flowers and just kind of build the design. I'm not through. I am going to do some backing on the left because there's just these two smaller flowers over here on the left. So again, I'm going to use a Project Life card, and I am going to put this behind the flower. So that side is going to be flatter than the other side. But there just really wasn't any large flowers over on the left, and so I didn't feel like it really mattered because in the end, the dimension is going to even out. I just love this cut file. I think it's so fun to do something like this. Now here's kind of what it's going to look like, minus the background, of course. But I'm going to start by, I thought I was going to go ahead and kind of glue things down, but then I decided that I wanted to add some dimension behind some of these smaller flowers, but I didn't want to forget where I wanted them to go. So I'm just going to lightly tape some of them down so I remember their spots. And then I realized that if I want to add dimension to those flowers on the right, then I needed to have something for them to stick to. And so I took some scrap cardstock, and I'm going to cut that out, and I am going to stick that behind the cut file just to give it a base, and then I'm going to stick everything back on top of it. This is why I never throw anything away, because normally I would just chunk, you would think I'm never going to use this excess little pieces of white cardstock, but you never know when you're going to need little bitty pieces for something like this. And so I have a hard time throwing scraps away because you never know. So here's my adhesive foam. I use this a lot. It comes in big sheets, and I get it from Walmart. And I think you get like 40 sheets for $5, and it comes in all these different colors, and it's awesome because it's just the right amount of thickness, and you can cut it to any shape you want. So I thought I would kind of add a little bit of depth to these big flower pieces by just smudging a little bit of white gesso around some of the edges just to kind of fade out some of the colors so the pattern and the color isn't just so flat. Since we're dealing with flowers here, I like to kind of have lights and darks. And I thought about adding some paint to those petals to make them look a little bit varied in the shades of color, but in the end I just leave them like they are. And I don't even think that it matters because I think it looks cute once it's all said and done. So now I can glue down those big petals because I have something to glue them to. And I know someone's going to ask me what kind of glue I'm using. That is the Scotch Quick Dry, or now it's called Scotch Tacky Glue, but I've gotten it from Michael's for years. The last several times I've been to Michael's, they've been out, but you can get it on Amazon. And honestly, I was surprised. I've seen it in Walmart. The bottles are smaller, but check the scrapbook aisle at Walmart and hopefully you will find it because I found some there. So here you can see what I was talking about with the dimension. I love how that looks. Not too thick or bulky, but just enough to pop it off the page. Okay, so now I'm going to build the rest of the layout with all of those little flowers that I have not glued down yet. I am going to wind up adding some foam behind some of them. And these leaf stems are from Pink Fresh Studio. We get a lot of Pink Fresh Studio Everyday Musings collection in the kits this month, and those are from the ephemera die cut pack, and I just thought they were the perfect addition to add a little bit more leaf action to the sides. And I am going to use white textured cardstock again for my background here, and this background is going to be a little bit different than I normally do. I wanted to do something different. I wanted to kind of enhance the cut file, and so what I wanted to do was just kind of start by putting color directly behind the shape of the heart. So I'm just very loosely tracing around the shape of the heart with a pencil here, and I can kind of see the outline of it. Now I'm going to pull out the color kit. I'm going to move my light over a little bit to the left here in a minute so this plastic isn't glaring in your face. But if you got the color kit this month, then you know that you get 3 gorgeous sprays, and these are Prima Color Blooms. Color Bloom 2 limited edition, and this blue color is called Fairy Pond. I love that name, but it's so pretty, and I love the little squirt bottles. But I just added some to some white gesso, and I'm just very lightly adding color behind the heart so you can kind of see this really pretty light blue showing around the white. And of course, you know me, I can't leave it just one color. I have to add some shading. So I'm dipping my brush into more of the Fairy Pond. I just sprayed some onto my plastic there. And that plastic is actually, we get a stencil in the color kit also. I just pulled the stencil out and I'm just using the plastic packaging here for my paint mixing. We also get a pink and a yellow color bloom. The pink one is Wild Raspberry and the yellow is Spring Dandelion. And I just kind of blended them together to get kind of an orangey color. And I'm going to do a lot of splattering. I'm not going to do any packaging technique on this. I didn't want to get too colorful on the background in big areas because I wanted to keep the background, you know, I wanted a lot of the white to show, but I also wanted a lot of the white of the cut file to show. I wanted this to be light and white. So I didn't want to do a lot of coloring onto the background. So these color blooms also are great for splattering if you just pull the nozzle out and splatter it like I've done a gazillion times. I know a lot of people do that. You can also stick your brush in there. You can spray it on plastic and then stick your brush in it. There's all kinds of ways to get splatters, but I'm using the yellow, I'm using the pink, and I love how this is looking. I think this is really soft and colorful at the same time. So I'm going to keep working on it. I'm going to come in with a little bit of a darker blue. This is from a few months ago. I think this is from August. It's called Oaky Bear Blue, and it's a shimmers, and it's a darker blue. Got a lot of shimmer in it, and I'm just going to use just a little bit of it to add in some shading on this blue. I wanted a little bit of color variation behind the heart. I didn't want to darken it up too much, but I wanted to pull in some more of the color of the outfit in the photos, which is more of a royal blue, but it's fun to kind of mix and match colors. And even though this is what I would call more of a navy, softer navy blue, definitely not royal, all you have to do is lighten it up. Just add water and just use a little bit of it. And when you mix it with the color that's already on the background, you get a totally different look. And so you never know what colors you're going to create when you mix two together. And to me, that's part of the fun of mixed media layouts like this is just mixing the colors, because you never know what you may get. So I'm going to keep working at it. I love the shades of blue that I've got going on here, but I did want to add in some more closer to the color of her shirt, or of her outfit. This is called Shimmer's Frostbite, and that's from a previous color kit, and it's more of the color in her outfit. And so I'm just going to use the nozzle and my brush and my fingers to just kind of splatter it and smudge it and just add little pops of that blue. And I am loving how this is looking. I love the splatters. I love this. As I was making this, I just kept saying, oh, I love this. I love how this is looking. And it's different for me. It's still mixed media and it's still messy, but it's a little bit different. You know, I didn't use the packaging technique, which of course is one of my favorite things. But I love that it's got a lot on here, but it's localized just behind the heart. So you can see I added a little bit more of the foam over to the left. Since I've got some dimension going over on the right, I wanted to add a little bit over to the left. And so, like I said, the dimension is going to even out on the sides. So now I'm going to build the photos and what I'm going to do in the middle here. I'm going to add a little bit of white tissue paper from my stash, and this is just to give a little bit of a messy layer. It's very subtle behind the photos there. I like to have something just kind of messy and crooked kind of peeking out from behind the photos, but nothing that's going to take away from the photos or the background or anything like that. So that's kind of how the photos are going to go. Now I decided to do some hand stitching. So off camera, I just took my needle and poked holes all around the heart and the swirls. I'm going to use some light blue thread, and I'm going to do the chain link stitch. I've done this on a previous layout for Hip Kits. It was one of my Christmas layouts. And I was at Creativation last weekend, and I got to meet lots of girls from the Hip Kits. And Lisa, who's also on our design team, she showed me and Paige Evans how she does the chain link stitch. I learned the chain link stitch from Paige, which I think is amazing. And Lisa showed us a different way to do it. And so that's the way I did it today. And I know I went too fast, but I'll probably do it again soon, and I will slow it down and show you how we did it. And I'm sure Paige will do it, and probably Lisa will do it, because it's addicting. It's pretty quick, and it looks complicated, but it really isn't. And I love the dimension and the texture and how pretty it looks. And I went with the light blue because I still wanted the outline of the white heart, but I don't know, I felt the need to stitch. And when you feel the need to stitch, you just need to do it. And I did it, and I love how it turned out. Now I did pull out some of the royal blue thread, and that's from my stash. I added some under the bottom right and the top left, just to have that little bit of that blue peeking out. And then I'm going to add yellow right here under the photos, because I just felt like I needed a pop of yellow. Since I've got a lot of blue going on in the photos, I wanted other colors around the photos. So these are the puffy stickers from the Everyday Musings collection from Pink Fresh Studio. I'm going to add in a couple of things, some leaves, stems, some flowers. I'm going to make sure I have the right amount of leaves. I fussy cut that leaf out from a pattern paper. These are some little epoxy enamel stickers, I guess you could call them. They are from Chamel, Head in the Clouds, and they're glittery. They're so cute. So I'm going to add a couple of those around the clusters. And I'm going to play around with some more die cuts here. Again, these are from Pink Fresh Studio. I'm going to add that light pink flower cluster underneath the bottom there. And then these also are from Pink Fresh Studio. They're dimensional heart stickers with little phrase sayings over them. And thanks to another design team member, I think it was Jung, who told us that the little phrases have a little protective coating over them. So make sure to peel that off if you are going to use those. I didn't even know that until she pointed that out. So thank you to her. My title is going to be short and sweet. I'm going to use one that's already made from these Pink Fresh Studio metallic gold thickers, or not thickers, but puffy stickers. And I like to tone down the brassiness of the metallic gold, so I just wipe some white gesso on top of it. And it kind of just makes it more of a muted gold, which I think is beautiful. And so I'm just going to use Choose Joy, because these are just some cute pictures of her looking adorable. She sat in the window one day when she had this cute little outfit on, and she actually sat there and smiled. It's just cute pictures. So yeah, Choose Joy, short and simple. Sometimes you don't have to overthink your title. And it's funny because sometimes I will spend the longest time trying to come up with a title, and then sometimes it's right there and it's easy. So the last thing I'm going to do is add in some lines for some journaling, and I do add the date off camera, but I think that is going to wrap it up. Here comes the final photos. Yep, I love how this turned out. I think it's super cute. I love that cut file. It totally inspired me to go this route. So be on the lookout for this cut file. Kim Watson designed it, and she's also got a beautiful butterfly that's going to be in there too. So here are all the close-ups, all the details. Look at the dimension. Super happy with how that looks. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions about any of the kits or the techniques or anything at all. I really enjoyed making this. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.